hope you guys are having a great Opticon so far. We're so happy to have you joining us today. I am Kevin Marks. I'm a software architect from XCentium. I am the guy who oversaw the building and implementation of SupplyLand's site. I'm super thrilled to have Jeff and Michael with me from SupplyLand today. That's Jeff King and Michael Deletto. So if you guys would give yourselves a quick introduction.
Sure. Thanks, Kevin. Jeff King. I am part of the SupplyLand team. My background is over 20 years in the industrial supply distribution space. Spent a lot of my career with large names like Uline, like Grainger, and teamed up, joined forces with Michael in 2021 with the plan to build a new e-commerce solution focused on industrial supplies.
And Michael Deletto, been doing this 14 years, and Jeff and I are the guys responsible for SupplyLand, so excited to get into the Opticon and why we picked it. So
before we get into it, what is SupplyLand, guys?
So SupplyLand is a digital destination for e-commerce industrial supplies. We focus on 4 pillar categories: packaging, safety products, janitorial supplies, and facility maintenance products. We have a curated assortment of products. We're about a year old now, just over a year old. And we started with around 1,700 items. Today we have close to 4,000. But we intend to continue to build out our assortment based on customer requests, and but continue to keep that a thoughtful, curated mix of supplies.
And then throughout the process, we started ground up. So we had to evaluate a lot of different choices when it came to software providers, and not because we're at Opticon, but it was a very easy choice when we saw their presentation. They won in every aspect of it. The configured commerce client had everything we were looking for, and it has the customization that we needed to make our vision come true. And then knowing that they had experimentation and now the marketing stacks behind it, their approach to their software was reassuring and encouraging to us that when we needed that next level to grow and build our company, they had the solution already there for us.
So today we are unboxing SupplyLand. This is a brand new site built off of configured commerce and the OptiPIM. In this session, we're going to take a deep dive into how SupplyLand ultimately came to choose Optimizely, what goes into building a site from the ground up, and how Optimizely really empowered us to create this unique web experience. So just a quick agenda. In the first section, we're going to talk about building out the site and catalog and give our insight on our thought processes behind that and what goes into building the site from scratch. Then we'll move on to why the voice and personality of the brand is so important to SupplyLand and how we were really able to translate that to the site. And then we're also going to talk about some really cool shipping features that we added that really gave SupplyLand a competitive edge. And then we'll have some time at the end for Q&A as well. So SupplyLand is not new to industrial wholesale, but you probably have not seen their logo until last year. And really, Opti has given us, through the CMS and configured commerce, tools to build out this incredibly complex site. And before we get into that, ultimately, why did you guys choose Opti? Why did you build a brand from scratch?
Yeah, so again, Michael and I combined have close to 40 years of background in the industrial supply space. We've had the opportunity to see a lot of things that work really well and a lot of things that don't work really well. So that might have been one that didn't work really well. But no, so we've been able to take those things in our experiences, and what we're doing with SupplyLand is we're trying to put together the right mix of things in a new and unique way. And we'll talk about some of those facets as we get deeper into the conversation. But anytime you have the opportunity with a blank canvas to create something new, it's extremely exciting, it's extremely fun, and that's why we chose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And how does SupplyLand really differentiate itself from the rest of the industry?
As our presentation is probably a little bit different than what you've seen at Opticon so far, we want to have fun. That's kind of what the theme of SupplyLand is, because at the end of the day, we're talking about boxes, tape, toilet paper, things everybody uses every day, but really there's not much pizzazz behind it. Now we get excited because we've been doing this for a long time, but we want to take that, translate it to the customer. And of course, we have a free shipping program, competitive values, but a lot of sites can do that too. So they're not enough for us to stand out. But something else that we do is we'll throw in a free gift. Our SupplyLand slogan is "It's in the box," and we mean that literally. Anytime you get a SupplyLand order, you're going to get safety cutter, Post-it notes, a kneeling pad, something of value. Not a tchotchke that ends up in the garbage, but something that you could use every day. The business could use just to show that little bit extra appreciation. That's just a few of the unique ways we do it.
Yeah, so I want to talk about your catalog a bit today. You guys have a really unique catalog in that there's a focus on grouping comparable products, showing their comparable attributes, and really only showing the information that's most important for your customers to make a purchasing decision. So what ultimately led to this non-traditional catalog?
That's you.
So today we're pretty accustomed to seeing websites with endless aisles, with endless product choices, left-hand navigation tools, filters, and things of that nature. For us at SupplyLand, we really look at and assume that anybody visiting our site is a non-expert. So we make no conjectures over what they may or may not know. We want to keep it simple, intuitive. We want to give them, like Kevin said, just enough information to make the right buying choice without overwhelming them. That goes into the assortment as well. And so we do not typically across our site, by and large, use any kind of left-hand filtering navigation. We instead use a visual approach to it. So our product is certainly categorized and you drill down, but it's the user that would drill down category by subcategory, all the way down to the product detail page to make that decision. And with that said, where it makes sense, we certainly do leverage some customization. A great example is up on the screen now. This is corrugated boxes. We offer over 700 sizes of corrugated boxes on our site. And certainly nobody's gonna scroll through that to go see if we have the size that they're looking for. So in conjunction with XCentium and the capabilities for customization within the Opti platform, we were able to come up with a very handy widget. And you see that on the left, up on the screen right now. And this just allows the customer to filter by size range or by keying in a specific dimensional value. So that is an example where we have used some of the traditional things that are out there. It's an example of how Opti can be customized to drive a solution like that. But in general, we really felt like kind of going against the grain of what you see out there and giving the customer a visual drill down through the categories to find what they're looking for was much simpler.
And I mean, you touched on it, it's simpler, but were there any other reasons that you guys kind of opted for that besides the traditional search left-hand facets filtering?
Yeah, so we use our own experience, then a lot of customer feedback too. We use the Amazon example. I think everybody in this room has gone on Amazon, typed something in, and from the million results possible, maybe you get down to a couple hundred. Then you filter your way into it. But at the end of the day, you're still left with a large list of things. And when you hit buy there, and you have a good idea, like I think this is what I want, but there's a little bit of doubt in the back of your head that is this really the right solution for my issue? And so we want to take that away. And so this unique path of browsing that we were able to do on the platform that differentiates kind of what the out-of-box feature is, takes that away from the customer. And then they know when they're looking at it, they see the information, and when they hit buy, that's going to be something that they can use, and they're not going to have an issue with it.
Yeah, and you guys talked about how diverse your catalog is, and we use the Optimizely PIM to create that incredibly diverse catalog from scratch. And that's a super daunting task. But we found that having a really well-defined product creation process was incredibly vital to the maintainability and scalability of this project going forward. And OptiPIM has really given us the confidence that whoever we transition this off to next is going to be able to handle it because that process is streamlined and it is easy to understand for anyone that could be new to the process. So first, how did you guys, out of all the PIM products in the world, land on OptiPIM?
So in our background, we've worked with some enterprise level PIM products. Certainly there's no shortage of those options that exist out there. For us, again, creating a business from scratch and being a new business with a new catalog with a blank canvas, we looked at those possibilities, but really what we liked about the the solution here was that it's a relatively simple product. It's intuitive. While we do have a growing and expanding portfolio of products that range from boxes and tape to first aid to garbage cans and all sorts of different types of products. This gave us everything we needed to get that rolling, to get that and be able to manage it, to be able to create the unique properties, the unique values, organize our hierarchy and our structure for our catalog, as well as expand for the future. There's definitely plenty of runway for us to expand within the OptiPIM. And then, like we've heard throughout Opticon, certainly the concept of sort of Opti1, little different definition behind that, but we sort of looked at it as though the same. Why wouldn't we want to work? We chose the Opti CMS platform. Why wouldn't we want to work within the PIM solution and keep those things all under the one umbrella? And it's worked out well. They play well, obviously, together. The fact that our partners at XCentium are well knowledgeable around Optimizely as a whole, that played well with it. And then, frankly, our backend ERP system also is designed to work well with Optimizely. So it was really all of those factors that led us to choosing the OptiPIM.
And like I said, with how diverse your catalog was and building it from scratch, that's a daunting process. Can you talk a bit about what that process was like for you guys?
Yeah, I think what really made it, again, going back to some past experiences, you step into something, there's legacy business that exists, and whether it's moving from one maybe PIM system to a new PIM system, or it's just a long-standing business that you have a lot of different people without necessarily having good processes behind product creation and product management, you end up with a lot of dirty data, and that's a nightmare to clean up, and often it never gets cleaned up. Mm-hmm. And so with this, it was really nice because Michael and I had the ability to establish those principles, those processes, those steps and procedures from scratch, from bottom up. And now it's really just a matter of governing those as we go forward, as we grow, as we expand the team. So it's been really, frankly, a breath of fresh air to be able to come in and do that brand new from scratch within the OptiPIM. And
I know you mentioned that you guys have gone from maybe 1,000 SKUs to 4,000 over the year. Do you see that growth continuing?
Absolutely. We're tracking towards 5,000 or so by the end of the year. And by no means, I mean, there's probably some folks here in the room. Anybody out of curiosity in the industrial distribution space here? Maybe? No? That's a small number when it compares to some of the industry big guys. But again, it's, our concept is give the customers what they're asking for, progressively expand it out, but keep that thoughtfulness, that curated approach to it.
Yeah, so we've mentioned how important, customer service, personality, voice is all to establishing the SupplyLand brand. Opti has really empowered us to translate that to the site through the CMS. We've built out tons of, a knowledge bank, lots of self-service options, and a really cool gift program that these guys came to us with called Free Swag. And all these things really contribute to the usability and the personality of the site. So we want to touch on a couple of these self-service features. And one of them is a tax exemption manager where customers can come and upload their own tax forms, manage their tax status. We've built out a fully automated return system, and we've added advanced order tracking capabilities. So guys, why is self-service so important to the SupplyLand brand?
Today's consumer, a lot of times everything's done online. If they have to pick up a phone and make that call to place an order, you're gonna lose them because a lot of the competition out there, a lot of sites, they can make it easy for them. So we wanted to remove as many roadblocks as during the buying process, the website viewing process as we could to get them to convert not only to carts, but then to orders. And if they, you get a self-service feel because everything's there for them. From the moment they land on the page to look at the product to the time they add to the cart, they can do it all. If they have a question, sure, there's a phone number you can call. But a lot of the users and the feedback that we have is if we have the tools to do it, just let us do it, and we're gonna be happy and make that purchase.
And one of the things that I really love about configured commerce as a developer is that Optimizely gives you all these basic integration points for just about any feature you could think of. They realize that every business is going to have a need for order history and tracking and returns and shipping services, but they also acknowledge that everyone's going to want to do that a different way. And by providing these integration points, they remove a ton of the overhead that would come from building these customizations from scratch, and they allow your developers to actually focus on the visible features that you're delivering to your client. So Optimizely Configure Commerce's extensibility has really helped us, develop a ton of features on top of what's offered out of the box to make these more robust and really cool. So SupplyLand, like I said, they have a huge knowledge bank, guides, videos, tips, FAQ page is all over the site, and it's freely available. And first of all, guys, where does all this industry knowledge come from?
Oh, you heard about it. Long time in the industry. So we've been doing it a long time, and we saw that there's a better way to get this product out to the customer, and that's kind of why we wanted to create the site and then transfer that knowledge that we've had, that our back office team has, make it available to you. So it gets rid of some of the mystery. Even though it might be boring products, they're very important when it comes to shipping, something that you made and making sure it gets there safely. And that customer, when they open that box to receive, they're all excited to receive that product, that it got there in one piece, and that the piece that you needed to ship it, that wasn't the point of failure. That the expectations that you have for your customers, we're able to deliver on.
And so what is the goal of having all these resources just available to the public?
So like I said, it was to give them the knowledge. Boxes, tapes, toilet paper, cleaning chemicals. The list goes on, and it's all technical and it will work. Some work in one application, others work in another, and sometimes there's crossover, other times there's not. But we want to make sure that the customer is able to learn about it, be knowledgeable when they make that purchase, and have confidence in that purchase that they made.
Yeah, so I touched on it earlier. You guys came to us with a really cool idea at the start for a free swag program, which is almost like an automated gift program. And I touched on earlier how customizable Optimizely is. We built off the promotion engine and the rules engine to come up with all sorts of custom rules that really drive this. So guys, what is the free swag program?
Yeah, so we coined it the free swag program. It's a tiered or a tiered free offer program, if you will. So carts ranging from size from $150 up will qualify for a free item. And these are fun products. We know we have a pretty good grasp of our customer demographics. Often it's the person running the warehouse or running the production facility. Typically those individuals like outdoor sports, they like licensed sports, football, baseball, what have you. So we put together an assortment of fun products that, some are utilitarian items, could be cutters or knives or tape dispensers and things like that. Others, as you see an example or two there on the screen, tumblers and, like I said, outdoor apparel. So we stock all those products, we ship them, and so that the customer has that immediate sense of gratification when they receive their product order, that freebie is right there in the box with it as well. And we know that from past experience, programs like this can drive incredibly high adoption rates, typically 75% and up, become active customers when you put a retention program like this in place. So what have the results been? Have you guys been happy with it? Well, we're a new brand, right? So with just over a year under our belt, we're still very much getting our name out there, getting customers visiting the site for the first time. So we're not hitting that level yet, but it increases month over month over month, and we're seeing more and more adopt it and take advantage of it. We do some things to make it simple so that once a cart qualifies for a freebie, it's right there in there. There's a link right there noting that and calling it out so the customer can quickly visit the free swag page and make their selection and add it to the cart at no charge.
So I want to talk about my favorite subject, that's shipping. And SupplyLand wants to be the best shipper, period. So we had to come up with a number of really innovative features building off what already Opti offered to help give them that competitive edge. And I've got a bunch of them listed right here. But one of the biggest definitely for us has been address validation. And losing money on missed deliveries is a huge nuisance. I think USPS estimates that like 20% of packages are undeliverable due to a bad address. And when you're shipping in volume, like SupplyLand does, that adds up super quickly. So we needed that solution in place from the start, and we're using FedEx's address validation. And what has been the results? How many orders or how much have you lost on missed deliveries?
Yeah, before we answer that question, I would just add to what you said, Kevin. Certainly it's important from an operating cost standpoint for us, but more importantly, it's important to our customers, right? These are often businesses, they're ordering the quantity of product they need for their exact job. So they need it at a certain date to get their orders out to their customers. And address validation has played a huge role in ensuring that those shipments are getting there. They're getting there in the time that we're estimating, but they're getting there intact to the right location. And to answer your question, 100%, we have not had one single shipment misdelivered, and address validation has really supported that.
Yeah, and you touched on, you guys have a lot of different shipping options. Some of them that we added are home delivery, freight LTL, and you don't see that a lot in the industry. You're not going to have a lot of industrial wholesalers shipping to your home on a Sunday. So why did you guys add that?
Well, right now at this point, we have one distribution location. We're based in Chicago, and it's a great spot to be. You can reach a lot of the country very quickly, 1 to 2 days, over 50% of the country. The longest it would take to deliver anywhere is 4 days or so, 4 to 5 days. But we partner exclusively with FedEx, so we ship all of our, whether it's parcel or freight, it's all FedEx. We wanted to start out, keep it relatively simple. We have a great program with FedEx. And we wanted to offer just enough service options on the shipping side without overwhelming. I mean, FedEx offers endless possibilities. So we picked those that we felt were most critical to our customer base to give them just enough options. The majority of our products are shipped parcel. So these are, orders ranging typically $150 to $300. But we do see some of the freight orders going out, and that is definitely continuing to grow and grow quickly as we expand our business. Some of the unique ones, home delivery, especially in the last 3 to 4 years, certainly I think COVID played a huge role in this. Everybody was at home. Folks had more time. A lot of people started businesses out of their home. And all of a sudden, they're looking for materials for supplies, whether it's packaging, whether it's other that are delivered to residential addresses. And so one of the beautiful things about this is FedEx delivers to residential addresses on Saturday and Sunday. So we wanted that service to be in there, whereas typical B2B type businesses may not offer that. And we felt like it was important to include that because if we get that order on a Friday, we typically well into the 90% range ship out same day because we do stock all the product. That customer will get it on Saturday or even on Sunday. So that was an important one to include in the options.
Yeah, and just to, again, touch on how customizable configured commerce is, to add things like home delivery or LTL, we didn't have to build this up from scratch. We were able to build on the existing rating service and then in addition to that, get like delivery date estimates back. So the fact that that's already there just really speeds up the time to actually deliver these features to the client, and it makes them happier. So I just want to touch on a couple more of the shipping innovations we came up with. What are shipping zone configurations, and how do you guys use them?
So shipping zone configurations are another great example of a customization that we were able to put in place with the help of XCentium. I think it's just a great example that shows the flexibility of the Opti software. Essentially, FedEx breaks the country down into 5 shipping zones. And so those shipping zones, 1 through 5, 1 would be next day, standard ground, 2 day, standard ground, so on and so forth. So what the shipping zone configurations allow us to do is to customize how we want to charge shipping or perhaps provide a discount for shipping into different zones. Again, it's really all about flexibility. In one zone, we may opt to do a flat rate shipping. In another, we may opt to do something that offsets perhaps added fees that we may receive because of geographical distance. So it's really though all about flexibility and giving us that ability to do that.
Yeah, and so another feature we built out is a customer order packager because, again, you guys have such a diverse catalog. You have tons of different products in different weights and shapes. We weren't getting the shipping rates that we wanted to see, so we really needed to extend upon that. And Michael, what goes into building a custom order packager?
Besides a lot of math and a lot of testing hours, patience, because our customers' orders are so diverse. They might buy the same products, but the footprint and the size and the shipping dimensions of those products, every single customer is different. So to try and shoehorn this into the out of the box, this is all the packages that we could send. Here's your rate. It didn't work. So we had to come up with, and I say we, it was really Kevin doing all the heavy lifting, the way to customize what we're sending to Opti and then to FedEx to say, hey, here's all this data. Give us the most accurate rate possible so that when the customer sees it at the checkout, there's no surprises. We're not going to charge them later, so we're not going to lose out on shipping. It's going to be accurate. Whatever that rate is the rate that it's going to be to ship their full bundle to them. So it was important that we spent a lot of time analyzing the PIM, getting that data clean, being able to have the right information to send out to get their rates to come back.
And we've seen that sometimes even giving them the most competitive rate doesn't work. So we've also implemented some shipping promotions. And how often are you guys seeing those promotions used?
So when we implemented the free shipping promotion, it was late last year, and we've seen probably 75% of our orders qualify in some way for either the free or the discounted shipping. We call it the Amazon effect. We use them a lot as an example, but when some people go on there, they're used to Prime. They're used to not paying shipping. Now, we all know it's in there with your subscription and you're paying for it some way. But when we put this promotion out there and they saw that they were going to get free or discounted shipping, order conversions went up. It was another thing that they said, yeah, that's great value. We liked seeing that.
Nice. So guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to do a quick Q&A now. And if you have anything you guys don't want to ask in front of the group, feel free to find me, Jeff, or Michael after the session. So any questions?
There's one back there.
The microphone running.
Thank you. Got
you.
a mic coming to you.
So you mentioned that the product listing pages, like on those pages, you wanted to show the information customers needed or wanted to know so they could buy the correct product. How did you leverage Optimizely to establish those specific data points?
Well, so from a technical perspective, we did a lot of customization to the parent-child relationship. I don't want to get too much into that because it gets very, very hairy, but we extended upon that to give a third level. So there's a parent, child, and then a grandchild. And that's kind of how we achieved that structure.
I would just add to that from a merchandising standpoint and thinking how we leverage the software to be able to deliver a presentation. So we mentioned earlier, we try to keep it simple, to keep it clean. Our copy, we write all of our own copy. Certainly there's technical specifications in that, but we try to inject that fun personality into a lot of our copy. It's fun. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there if you want to browse around products. I highly recommend looking at our toilet paper. But what we did was we created some of these additional fields within the PIM that we could then map to the CMS to add these additional information tabs, if you will. So we could tuck those underneath our product table. It's very simple for the customer to scan through. This is where you would find things like our FAQ lists specific to that product, or specification guides or brochures, videos if there's videos. And so it's all nested there under the product table. And really the software gave us that flexibility, and XCentium helped us figure out how to leverage it and use it.
And again, just one more time to harp on how customizable this platform is. That was a very heavy lift, but we were able to leverage the existing variant products and kind of keep it within what Optimizely was already doing. Over here. Thank you. We're making her
Getting
work
to work
today.
out.
Yeah.
So you guys are on the Spire CMS, right?
Yes.
How did you guys decide to use that over like what was shown yesterday? Is there any advantages to using Spire? And did you guys think about that going into it?
Well, so you guys ultimately chose configured commerce, and when you chose were two options, Classic and Spire. And I don't know if Classic was even presented to you as an option because Optimizely has been moving away from that. Spire is built on React, really snappy, modern, and cool. So ultimately, you guys wanted configured commerce, and that was the front end.
Yeah, I think during the sales cycle, in the evaluation process, we caught some glimpses of Classic. Spire was all of our demo was in Spire.
Yeah.
So when we did all our demo, we had our test drives and things like that. It was all in Spire. So we didn't really ever know what the old Classic was really.
Really, there wasn't a choice. Yeah. That was what was out there. That's what we had, and what they showed yesterday just wasn't available. But it seems that, and we'll have to talk to Nick later, but it seems like what they're offering in that new Marketing 1 will fit with the configured commerce platform, and there's a lot of fun things in there that we can see, we'll say bolting on, but meshing with our Spire infrastructure and using the new wave of items.
And I think there's been so much, exciting talk around certainly personalization, customization, things like that. Personalization really for the customer. And like Michael talked about earlier, I mean, that's really a big piece of our differentiation. We're in the early stages of our journey, certainly now, but as we scale and grow, we always want to give that personal touch. So if you're someone in the automotive industry and you're buying cleaning products from us, you're going to get something in that package that's tailored to you. We're going to drive and leverage the capabilities of Optimizely to give them that same personalization from a digital perspective as well. So those are things that we know and anticipate coming down the pike for us, and we're very excited about that.
Any other questions, guys? Oh, sorry, I didn't see you back there.
No problem. So in the simplified ordered view, I'm wondering how you guys think about product recommendations and doing cross-sells and upsells, and where that comes in as part of the pipeline to introduce new products and build that order value.
Yeah, that's something I should have mentioned earlier. We do have the cross-selling enabled. So the box example, when they're at that seeing boxes, they'll see tapes or strapping or other items that would fit with the purchase that they're making, using what previous customers have done or what we know would be a product that would go hand in hand with it. So we've seen good activity around that where there's high interest, there's a lot high click rate on that, where if they're presented with a page that has it, they're more likely to add it to their cart and bundle their order together. And it's been easy to set up. I mean, that's really kind of more of an out of the box.
No work on my end. Optimizely just provides that capability. So another reason we love configured commerce.
We did create something that was a customization relative to that during the checkout process. We have an exclusive private brand. SupplyLand private brand of products, and these products range across our 4 pillar categories. So if a customer selects a national brand product to which we have an equivalent in the cart, what we did was create a field where it'll automatically drop in a notation and a link, save up to X amount with the SupplyLand, whatever it may be, glass cleaner or whatever. So that's kind of another way that we tie in some of that. We also do that from a cross-sell, upsell standpoint where, hey, you're buying the boxes, did you forget the tape kind of thing. It's a fine line though, because I think a lot of people, you don't want to be that pushy, but it obviously is very effective at the same time.
And another nice thing about configured commerce, it allows us the ability to make pre-created bundles. So you could do, order this much tape, automatically get a free tape gun with it. And we can pre-create those so that if they buy that promotion, that item that goes with it already drops into the cart. There's no extra work for them to do. So it's another kind of surprise, another benefit of when they see the cart, oh, hey, I get this, and it's right there, it's on the page. You can see it, and then it shows up.
Anyone else? Well, guys, thank you so much again for joining us. Find any one of us after this if you guys have any additional questions. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Opticon.
Thank you.
Thank you all.